Hi there folks, another day, same outfit. So today I'll be making a short video about propagating horseradish. So we harvested some horseradish, and for making paste, I think I have a video on that. I'll try to link it. But those are the leftovers or the tips of the radish roots. The way you harvest horseradish is you dig out as deeply as you can, then cut the top part and replant that, and use the root of the horseradish. And also, in any place which you harvested the horseradish, it's probably the same place that it will regrow, because even if you had like a 50 centimeter root here harvested, it's improbable that you got all of it, and it usually comes up, if not on the next year, then on the year after, because it needs some time to regrow back to the surface. But those tips are great way to propagate your horseradish. Each of those pieces will make a healthy new plant, and even you can separate, like in this case, you can use that to make a new plant. The horseradish is a very prolific plant, and it can grow even from the tiniest of pieces, and such clumps. This was a massive root here, very hard to dig out, but clumps such as those can easily yield a few dozen new plants. You can even use one of those and cut those in 4 pieces and plant each of the individual pieces and get new plants. Ideally, you want to plant the horseradish somewhere where you won't be needing the space for anything else, because it's very hard to remove after you plant it. But we find that we never have enough horseradish, because we really like the paste which it makes. It's a great tasting condiment, and also it's a medicine if you know how to work with it. I'll be talking about that in a future video probably. So today I have to separate those, and then I'll be planting those out. So you can see I'll be using my garden pruners here to just very quickly and easily cut those off. You can use that to make a new plant, or you can even split that. I know that this looks very destructive, but don't worry, this will make 2 new plants. And sometimes those clumps which I selected today, they are relatively smaller, so you can split them with your garden shears. Even I'll be shaping them a bit, planting this, and this can be split into 2 separate pieces. Make a cut and plant this. But sometimes you can even start horseradish from broken off pieces. It might not work every time, but it never hurts to try. Otherwise you have to compost this. Sometimes when I have harvested some very large clump, I just use my machete as a cutting knife and just roughly split that in pieces like that and plant those out. Usually the bigger the pieces, the more vigorous the next year growth will be, but even the smaller pieces are able to make like harvestable root in one season if there is abundant moisture. As moisture is not very abundant in our garden, it usually takes a few years to reach this size. And I can even keep that piece of the root and use that for paste, because I left too much here. And the idea is that you are not harvesting the same patch each year if it does not have big growth. You usually wait a couple of years so the plants can establish and make big roots, and then you harvest the plants, and then you let them rest for a couple of years and harvest on another location. I'm just splitting the roots up, doing a bit of a trim. Sorry for the shaky camera. This is perfectly enough for a new plant. Sometimes with those plants such as comfrey, which I showed you the other day, I found that it is as if the more rough you are with them, the more they grow. So the more you pamper them and worry about them, the more they stagnate and they don't grow as much. And you can see here that it has side growth which can be also separated. I won't be needing to do that separation, but just as example, those may seem rotten, but they have enough vigor in them to produce new plants. I have seen people here traditionally planting the horseradish in the old houses where there are no downspouts leading the rainwater away from the roof. So the older people, they just planted horseradish next to the drip line, usually on the back side of the house, and it thrives on lots of water. You can also irrigate it, of course. We'll be trying to irrigate the bed, which I'll be starting with those pieces and compare the result. And this one will go to horseradish paste. So that was all for today, folks, and I'll see you tomorrow.